Sagittarius August. Go big or go home, Sagittarius, from one Sagittarius to another. Okay, we're going to have an amazing month of August. We have a trine going on this month with the sun being in the fire sign of Leo, right? So trines are positive aspects. Everybody loves trines in astrology. So we have this positive aspect of how we show up in the world as a Sagittarius, right? And maybe that's why I always think of summer being like the heart of the summer really being August, might be because I'm a Sagittarius, because it flows so smoothly then. Okay. Now, once we get into Virgo season later in the month on the 22nd, then we form a square because Virgo is a mutable sign, and so are we, Sagittarius. So enjoy the smooth energy from August 1st to 8/22. Although Mercury will be in retrograde, we're still going to have a great time. Now, Mercury rules the sign that's directly across from us, which is Gemini. And so, we're going to have an opposition with a planet that's in retrograde, or opposition with the sign of the planet that's in retrograde. So, all right. So basically, Jupiter, our ruling planet, is in the sign of Gemini, and Mars, the planet of action, is also in the sign of Gemini. They're pretty close together. So when there's an opposition, one side wants one thing, one side wants the other, right? Mars wants to take action, and Gemini is a social sign, really fast-paced, not always known for thinking everything through. I'm a Gemini moon too, so we can jump into things. So we have to be careful for that with Mars there, because it's going to kind of tease us to make a big move, especially with our ruling planet right there with it. And we know Jupiter makes everything bigger. So we might be like, I want to plan this trip and I want to buy these tickets to go here. And we might want to hold up a little bit because Mercury is in retrograde. Okay. So maybe just make a list of all your great ideas of the things you want to do, places you want to go, note some prices on tickets, or just pay attention for things, but do not click and purchase impulsively. Okay. No late night online shopping, any of that kind of stuff. Okay. But go big or go home. Big plans, big ideas. It just doesn't mean that we have to do it right this second. Okay. So get the notebook out, write things down, take advantage of the Mercury retrograde. We have a square going on with Neptune in Pisces and Saturn in Pisces, okay? So they're asking something from us. And when Pisces is involved, there's usually a lot of creativity involved. So our creativity is like knocking on our door and saying, hey, show up. This is something we want to show up for. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, I did a pre-reading just to see what I'm supposed to be telling you here. And the first card was the 9 of Wands, 9 of Fire. She looks pretty defensive, and maybe there's been a lot going on. Maybe you're really overstimulated. I know I can relate to that. So she's kind of got this like protection in front of her, and she's really guarding herself. So maybe you're feeling a little frazzled, Sag, okay? And there's a lot of fire energy with the sun being in Leo and Venus is in Leo, and so there's a lot of fire. So we can, as much as we might be having fun, we also might be getting a little burned out. Okay. Now, your next card was the 5 of Swords, and he's like full speed ahead. This feels very Gemini, and 5 is a number of change. So he's like getting on with it, moving. 3 swords are on the ground there. So there's like some old pains that are being left behind. You're so over it. Okay. Now, the Sun card. So there's a lot of visibility. You can see. Love how she's like showing the children how to weave. This is a Leo card. This is what's going on. We're in Leo season. So there's some visibility here, but also there's like a burning hot sun behind her. Okay. And then there's fire in this one. And then there's like an overstimulation card in the beginning. So just make sure that you're not too frazzled. Okay. Because go big or go home, things could get big. You could get tired, or you could get really brilliant ideas, right? And it just shows some energy of getting moving, but also making sure that you see clearly what your needs are. All right, now that was your pre-reading. So let's do a live reading here. And we're going past, present, and future to see what you need to know. Working with the spellcasters here. Pretty intense deck. I've talked about how in some of the other piles that I don't use this one often with clients. Some of the cards are a little hairy, especially the death card. But let's see what you need to know here. In the background, you've got the Hermit. Okay, so the past position, the Hermit comes up, and the Hermit is your inner guide. It's your path of truth. And he's, caring for that flame so it doesn't go out. Okay. And Virgo, this is Virgo energy, the Hermit. This has to do with wellness. This has to do with stepping away. This has to do with your service and contribution to the world. But it's also your path. Okay. And so kind of almost protecting it. He's making sure that flame doesn't go out. Protecting it's almost like when life gets really stressful and you start thinking about things that are happening to other people, or you're reading the news and you're just overwhelmed with the information, you got to get back to you and your path and what you came here to do. Okay, so he's kind of protecting this flame. Now, your present situation, you have the King of Pentacles here. He's quite a good-looking king there, and he's the king of value, and there's a lot there, and he's got helpers behind him. There's surplus, okay? King of Pentacles, king of value, and it looks like things are good. Like financially, it looks good. It looks like it's just prosperity is what I see. Okay. Future position, 3 of Cups. This is like the social situation, and they are falling backwards into the water. So interesting. You've kind of got the Hermit walking this way, and then you've got these 3 of Cups and falling, but you got this King of Pentacles in the center, kind of keeping things grounded. So make sure that you're following that inner guide, that inner feeling. It's almost like this king, he's got like these I guess they're supposed to be his helpers behind him, but they look a little mischievous, okay? And then there's like almost like a party going on over here. So make sure that you're staying focused on your work. Make sure you're staying focused. Remember, we were saying like Neptune and Saturn and Pisces, like maybe there's a passion project that needs attention. Okay, don't get distracted by everyone else, what they're doing, and like the party. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull cards week by week for this month of August. I'm working with the Witches Tarot here, a little smaller size deck. And let's see what we have going on. This is for week 1. It's a reversal. I'm not going to pay too much attention to that. 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is like traveling, getting out there. 2024 equals 8, so this is a present time. There's water there. Okay, 8 of Wands. This is a really fun card of getting a move on it, just like you like to do, Sag. Week number 2 of August, we have the Wheel of Fortune, another card of travel, movement, progress. Almost like a season starting. You're starting to feel the chill of the season starting to change up here in New England. It's so funny how quickly that can come in. This is the card number 10, the Wheel of the Year, or the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Week number 3, you've got the King of Pentacles again. So right kind of sitting here on top of this other King of Pentacles is the version from the Witches Tarot. Okay. It's very focused on that pentacle. And it's kind of reminding you that even though there's maybe there's some travel, maybe there's some movement, it's summertime, maybe you're out and about, but he's staying focused, especially in week 3. Okay. The King of Pentacles would be like the king of I think he's called the king of the hearth and the home. So really appreciating what you have, appreciating the home, appreciating the situations that you've created for yourself. Okay. Week number 4, we have the 8 of Pentacles, a card of being hard at work, okay? And we know that this last week is kind of when we start thinking about getting back to it. Summer's kind of starts to feel like it's ending. And so it's interesting, he's holding this big pentacle, she's polishing that one. All right. So really appreciating and making sure, just kind of, even though you're enjoying the summer, you want to stay focused on what you need to focus on. And there's something here very much with your work. Okay. And with the Wheel of Fortune showing up too, it could have spiritual tones to it. Okay. But it looks pretty good, Sag. All right. Let's roll some dice and let's see some power days for you this month. And we rolled the sun in the sign of Virgo in the 3rd house. Okay, so the sun is going to be in the sign of Virgo after the 22nd of the month. Okay, and then you rolled the 3rd house, which is Gemini's house. So both Virgo and Gemini are ruled by Mercury. So you pretty much rolled the sun and double Mercury. Okay, so this is a reminder about the Mercury retrograde. The sun showed up in your dice, and in one of your tarot cards over here was the sun. And so there's a visibility. Okay, so you may find out some information. You may have some clarity about what your schedule routine is going to look like in the fall. As we move into Virgo season, you may have some clarity of routine and schedules, and also like what your environment's going to look like. Okay, so maybe you've been making some decisions about like the work in the fall, but it shows me that those things are going to come together for you. Okay, so don't be alarmed by the Mercury retrograde. Really take advantage of that time period to give you the clarity that you're looking for. Okay, let me give you some power days for the month. Now, you rolled the sun, which rules the sign Leo. We know that we start off the month with the new moon in Leo, so that the moon will move into the sign of Leo at 7:10 a.m. on Saturday, August 3rd, into the 4th, and through to the 5th, Monday the 5th, until about 5:17 p.m. Okay, so this beautiful new moon in Leo as we approach that Mercury retrograde starting on Monday the 5th. Now, we also rolled Virgo, so Virgo is the next sign after Leo, so you get this stretch here from Monday the 5th, Tuesday the 6th, Wednesday the 7th, until early in the morning on the 8th. So this is a great time for you if you want to get out of town. We do see some travel cards indicated up here in the beginning week, and you got some power days there. Okay. Now, you also rolled the 3rd house, which is Gemini's house. And so we know that the moon will be in the sign of Gemini starting on, looks like Sunday the 25th, 11:04 p.m. through the 26th, the 27th, into the 28th till 4:47 a.m. Power times for you, Sagittarius. Have a fabulous August.